Good morning, students. In today's lecture, we are going to touch for the new aspect of statistic, where in detail we are going to focus on testing of hypothesis. So let's have a look on what is meant by testing of hypothesis. This is nothing but a procedure, and that is useful for determining the significance of a statistic, and that sample statistic either it differ from given value of the parameter from other sample by more than a certain amount. This is nothing but the combinedly testing of hypothesis. For sample size, number of criteria are used for testing of hypothesis. If the sample is large, we are using the normal test of significance, and if it is a small sample, then we are using the t-test, f-test or the chi-square test. Then in continuation with this, we will go in detail the steps which are used in testing of hypothesis. So first important step is to lay down the hypothesis. Whenever we have to solve the hypothesis containing the example, then it is necessary to lay down a specific hypothesis. That is the first step. Then to test that hypothesis, and third important step is to consider the level of significance, and fourth, we have to analyze the critical region or also known as the rejection level, and at the last we have to compute and important to make the decision. We will go in detail step by step. In lay downing hypothesis, there are mainly two hypotheses we are using. First is null hypothesis and another one is alternate hypothesis. So in null hypothesis, this is also known as the H0. What this hypothesis tells us, it is concerned with all possible rejections, okay, and we are accepting only one, and there is no true difference in the sample and the population. So whenever we are with the two different samples, we are 99% rejecting, while only 1% we are accepting that hypothesis. That is nothing but the null hypothesis. And another hypothesis is alternate hypothesis, and that leads to the acceptance of this hypothesis. So what type of samples we are using? We are accepting that there is a significant difference. Then the next important step is to test the statistic. What is this then? It is nothing but the decision to accept the null hypothesis. In last slide we have studied what is null hypothesis. There is a 99% rejection of hypothesis. So test statistic, either we have to accept the null hypothesis or the alternate hypothesis, and it is dependent on statistic computed from the sample. This is nothing but the test statistic. It majoritarily depends on appropriate probability distribution, and common test, that is z-test, t-test, chi-square test and f-test are used to study the test statistic. Let's go for the third step, and that is important, nothing but the level of significance. There are mainly two levels of significance we are using. One is 5%, or it is also known as the 0.05, and another one that is 1%, that is 0.01. In 5% level of significance, 5 out of 100 we are going to reject, means we are accepting the 95% confident level, whereas in 1%, 1 out of 100 we are going to reject. So here confidence level is only 10%. So these level of significance are useful for calculating the tabulated values. Let's go for the fourth step, that is critical region or rejection region. Critical region or the rejection region. When the sample statistic fall in critical region, as it is also known as the rejection region, we are going to reject the hypothesis, and this is represented by a portion. Note down that it is a portion if the area is under normal curve or not, and that is categorized in two parts, that is two-tailed test where both sides of curve have rejections, and one-tailed test only right or left tail has a rejection. So in here three diagrams are there, so you can observe two-tailed. Here both sides they are with the critical region, and that leads to the rejection of this hypothesis, whereas left tail, only left tail region, or here in third diagram that is a right tail region, there is a rejection, and depending upon that they are classified into the two types, that is two-tailed and the one-tailed test. And the last step, that is doing computation and to finalize our decision. From all these steps, it is necessary either to accept or to reject the null hypothesis, and this is depend upon whether computed value of the test criteria falls in the region of rejection or acceptance. This is all about the whatever we are going to study, the testing of hypothesis. In the next lecture we'll go for other parameters of this test which we are using commonly, that is t-test and the chi-square test. Thank you.